up, CJ? How you doing?
Great, brother. How you doing? Appreciate the introduction.
How can I not be doing amazing when we finally did it? We got you on my show, CJ. I'm through the roof ecstatic. And also it was great seeing you as well in Toronto. And I know you're super busy with tons of like basketball and the Players Association and of course your wine business. So thank you so much, CJ, for doing this.
No problem at all, man. No problem at all. Glad I could join. Sorry about the Wi-Fi connection in the last city. But we getting it done now in Miami. I'm icing my feet, taking my vitamins, and getting ready for another game tonight.
It didn't work out the other night because the connection wasn't there yet, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And also, I want to give a huge shout out to my guy, Shully. He is just an amazing guy, a great friend to me. Just isn't Shully the best?
Yeah, Shirley's my guy. I've known him for I don't know, we had 6 years now, 6, 7 years, and he's been a great human being. We've exchanged a lot of gifts to each other. He's gifted me a lot of different types of wine, and he's just been a really, really positive influence in a lot of people's lives, including yours, obviously. So it's cool to be able to have that connection with you, and it's cool to be able to sit down on Jake's talk to talk some hoops in life.
100%. By the way, before like I start asking you a bunch of questions, I wanted to ask you about obviously Brandon Ingram last night. We got a very bad scare, and obviously it's the best of the worst that now it looks like it's only a bruise and he'll be out for like 2 weeks or something. But man, how's Brandon feeling? Do you know?
He's in good spirits today. It was a little rough yesterday, not knowing the extent of the injury and trying to figure out how long he's going to be out, but we're lucky. We're lucky that he's only going to be out with a bone bruise and excited to see him rehab and get back as soon as possible. But in the meantime, we got to hold it down without him.
Yeah, 100%. You guys got to hold him down without him, but I'm wishing him all the best. So, CJ, your Pelicans are currently sitting at the 5 seed in the Western Conference, and the Western Conference is pretty good. You guys are having a great season. You're 15 games over 500. And you guys got a really good record, good road record too. You guys are on a hot streak lately. You're beating teams like the Clippers, Sixers, the Pacers, and like the Knicks. And you're not just beating those teams though. Man, you're beating them down. What are your expectations for this team?
I think for us, it's about just continuing to build on our habits, building on winning habits, executing our game plan each day, just really taking advantage of the fact that we get to play a sport for a living and we got a lot of talent and a good staff around us. I think we got 14 games left. We got a lot of good teams in front of us, and we get to control our own destiny. So it's just going to be important for us to compete, defend, really focus on the defensive end, and give ourselves a chance to make the playoffs and be a good seed.
Yeah, I personally have huge expectations for you guys. You got the defense and everything, and everyone knows defense wins championships.
Yeah.
But on another note, you guys have something that is like really going for you guys, the three-point shooting. You're a career 40% three-point shooter. Herbert Jones is shooting 43% from three. Trey Murphy at 38. Even Zion's at 36. I mean, I talked to Coach Kerr of the Warriors about how he created the Warriors culture and like the atmosphere of just great three-point shooters. And I think your team has something like very similar. Do you agree?
I mean, we don't have Steph or Clay, but I think if you look at the way our roster is constructed, it's a free-flowing offense. We play inside out. Zion attracts a lot of attention, a lot of double teams. BI attracts a lot of attention, and we're able to play off those guys and really utilize our strengths. Herb has obviously gotten better offensively from a finishing standpoint to a shooting standpoint. Trey's obviously lights out. Z works on his jumper every day. I work on my jumper, obviously, and I think we got a lot of players. Jose, JV, Najee, Larry, all those guys are comfortable shooting the ball. All those guys are comfortable making plays for themselves and others. And I think that's why we've been so successful this season.
You mentioned Jose, and I wanted to bring up to you about his legendary like little ninja crawl in the corner and like waits to the rim. It is so funny. When I was at that game when you guys played the Raptors, he did it. I was dying of laughter. It's amazing. It's so crafty.
Yeah, he's a crafty guy. Defensively, a nightmare. Offensively, he's continued to get better. He's shooting the ball well, finishing around the basket. And, our bench gives us a huge, huge spark in our point differential. And they were able to extend leagues and they're able to get leads for us consistently throughout the year.
Yeah. Anyway, so at this point in your career, you're in your prime now. You're a veteran, you're the head of the Players Association, and just a real leader to this team for some younger guys. And some of them, they have some huge potential. Trey Murphy, he's a legitimate 50, 40, 90 guy. You got Jordan Hawkins, who's still the best shooter in that draft. Zion, who's obviously insane, but he's still young. Alvarado, Herb Jones, just how perfect is this role for you? Like, do you like to offer this team the veteranship to get over the hump?
It's a really good situation for me, which is why we kind of orchestrated the situation from Portland to here. But we're thankful for the pairing that we've been able to make together. We're thankful for the role that I've been able to play, and I think the sky's the limit for us as we continue to progress and get more time together, as we continue to get healthy and try to remain healthy. I think it'll be a great litmus test for us to see where we're at once the playoff starts and we kind of build on what we've been able to accomplish thus far. But it's been a really great situation for everybody.
So I want to ask you about something that is a little interesting. You've been one of the best shooters in the league for a while now. You're right around 40% from three on your career. And when you came into the league, you built yourself up to an 80 plus free throw shooter. I mean, year one, you were shooting 91% from the line. That's unreal. But the last few years, your percentage has dropped just a little bit. So what is it that's preventing you from that 90 club? Because, man, I know you got it in you.
I think it's a combination of concentration and then attempts. I don't go to the free throw line as much as I used to. I think fouls are down across the league, just across the board in general, but I'm not going to the free throw line as much. So when you do go, you have to make them. Like last night, I had 4 trips to the line. I went 3 for 4, so that's only 75%. I may not go to the free throw line again for 2 or 3 games, so I have to kind of capitalize on those trips when I get them and really just focus in and lock in and do a better job of concentrating. So I think it's the combination of me not concentrating as much as I should, and then not getting as many attempts to be able to make up for those misses in some of the games.
Maybe you should try and use Giannis's technique. Just take 20 seconds between each one.
Might not be a bad idea for me at this stage.
Anyway, I want to ask you about Brandon Ingram. Man, is he a legit #1 superstar? Because when I watched him live, obviously besides that ridiculous crossover and dunk, with his length, he can just get a shot off whenever he wants. Is he the #1 on this team, or is it offense by committee?
That's a tough question. I think for us, it's just about gauging matchups on a nightly basis. Everybody's had to sacrifice this season in terms of shot attempts, in terms of usage, and we're just trying to do whatever it takes to win games. We take advantage of matchups. We play through BI, we play through Z, and we just try to utilize everyone's talents to the best of our abilities while trying to put winning first. And I think that's always been our mentality. Both those guys are capable of carrying teams and have had to do that throughout different parts of their career. But I think for us, it's about doing whatever it takes to win, and being able to sacrifice is a part of winning.
Yeah, and that 2016 draft class when Brandon got drafted, it had two of my favorite players, Brandon and Jaylen Brown. It was a pretty good draft class. It's interesting. I like to do that. I like to look at different draft class, see which one has like the most stars. 2018 stands out like crazy. You know who's in that 2018 draft class?
No, who's in them?
Man, it's wild. It has Luca, it has Shea, Trey Young, Aiton. The list goes on. Mikal Bridges. There are many more. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how players develop, how roles develop, and as you look back, you'll see a lot of different players who continue to get better as their career progresses.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch them develop for sure. Anyway, so it's been a couple years since you've been traded to the New Orleans Pelicans, but you spent 9 years in Portland, and you guys really built up a duo that was quite amazing. You and Damian Lillard together, it's crazy. But how weird is it for you to look back at that team? You're not there. Dame's in Milwaukee. Nurkic is now in Phoenix. Like they're going through a full rebuild, man. Does it feel strange like seeing Portland without one of you guys?
Yeah, it's been interesting to see, how they've continued to push forward, but they got a lot of young talent. They got a lot of guys who will be able to help contribute for years to come. And they've had some injuries throughout the season. Malcolm Brogdon's been hurt. Robert Williams has been hurt. Grant's been out. Matisse been out of the lineup. Shaden Sharp's out. So they've been very injured this season. So it's been difficult for them to really see what their full potential is going to be like. But it is weird at times seeing Dame in a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. That's for sure.
Okay, so last question. The MVP conversation is heating up.
Mhm.
But hey, I don't know how anyone can bet against Jokic. He's just a human cheat code. The intelligence, the size, the passing, it's all remarkable. But man, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is the real deal. He can just flat out ball. The way he gets his spots is just unreal. Like, as a guy who competes against Shea, how good is he?
He's very good. He's elite. He's got great breaks, start stop, ability to get into the lane, ability to change direction. His jump shot has continued to improve. He obviously loves the mid range, but he can also shoot the three with regularity and with range off the bounce. Good playmaker. And I think he has a lot of talent around him that is utilized correctly to where, they all are able to thrive from Chet to Jalen Williams to Giddy to some of the other guys on the roster. They've done a great job assembling and drafting and developing players to where, Shea is obviously an MVP candidate and probably will win one at some point, if not this year. But they're going to be great for quite some time.
I never really put this into perspective, but I went to a game. I'm not going to say which game I went to, but I was sitting behind, there was a star player on a team, and he was sitting with an assistant coach, and they were doing film together. And they were talking about it, and I couldn't help them overhear, but they were talking about how when Shea goes to his left hand, his step back jumper, and how it's amazing, and how this player wanted to add it to his arsenal. And I was thinking how much work it must have took the assistant coach to find the right videos, find the right play in which this specific player can develop in. Just how much work does an assistant coach put into every player?
Assistant coaches and coaches in general work extremely hard. They put in countless hours of watching film of other teams, watching film of their team, breaking it down, clipping it, doing scouts, doing player profiles, doing player breakdowns. It's a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of sacrifice, and I'm thankful that I've had so many great coaches throughout my career, and are thankful for the coaches and the sacrifices they make, along with all of our staff. All of our staff are sacrificed on a day-to-day basis, front office, player personnel, training staff, everyone. So I'm just thankful for the role that everyone plays in allowing me to perform at a high level.
CJ, thank you so much for joining me on Jake's Takes. Did you enjoy our time together?
I enjoyed our time together, man. Thanks for having me.